All right, happy Monday, episode number 6. Welcome back, Brave Babes. It's Stephanie and Melissa, your podcast host. We are so excited to connect with you today.
Yes, we are, and we know last week was a little heavy.
Yes.
So we're going to lighten it up today.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to get all the positive vibes in here. I'm going to read one more review from our podcast. If you didn't know, you could leave a review. We read every single one.
Yes, we do.
And
screenshot them to each other, and we're grateful that you guys take the time to listen to this.
Yes. So we're going to be reading a review every week, and this week is from B. Howard 2020. It's titled Loved It. Absolutely loved this podcast, and so incredibly excited to see what else you babes have in store.
Well, B. Howard 2020, we are so happy that you loved it. That really blesses us because we're having a lot of fun with this, and I think it's really helping us develop and grow in different ways. And show up as our most authentic selves. You guys should know we record this one time. We don't do any special editing.
No.
We don't have any crew.
No.
We're not sponsored by anyone
Yet.
that could come if you want to sponsor us. Shout out. But we're having a blast with this.
We really are, and I think it's so funny. You know those Facebook memories? I tagged you in one of us doing a Hot Mess Monday. In our Hot Mess Monday lives, when Facebook lives were they happened on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. They happened whenever they happened. That's why they were called Hot Mess. But that 2 years ago brought us here recording this, and we go on YouTube and on iTunes and SoundCloud, and it's just so cool to see.
It is.
How
it's fun.
God's grown us. Anyways, this week's episode is about finding the positive in a bad situation, in the negative, in the hard.
Yeah. So, guys, we are not immune to the bad stuff that goes on. Excuse me. The bad stuff that goes on. We definitely are not mute to what's going on in the world.
Right.
Or we both have hard days. We have hard weeks. We are navigating motherhood with, children of different ages, different schooling. We're married. We know life is not perfect. We know it's not an Instagram filter.
No.
But I think that we've been blessed with mindsets that seek the positive in situations.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think that comes from our own strength.
No.
I think that the Lord has really just blessed us, and we have seen some really hard seasons in our lives. And now we can really appreciate. And so today we wanted to talk about how you navigate those hard seasons and really crappy stuff, but still can find the positives in it.
I just want to share this really quick because it happened yesterday. I was asked if I was nervous about the foster care to adoption process. And I said no, that I wasn't nervous. And then thinking back, because I'm an overanalyzer, I internalize things. I am nervous in the sense that anything could happen. It's not in my control what happens with our foster babe. It's only in God's control. Only God knows what truly is going to happen. I obviously pray every day. I have hopes, I have dreams, I have desires. But I have this unexplainable peace that I know comes from the Lord, but I find the positive in the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life is to be a foster parent. And seeing that light in this crazy dark world is hard, but it's the only thing that can get me through. And there's pros and cons to everything, and I'm sure that you can think of one right now if you're listening of something that's kind of dark in your life, but there's a light that's inside of you. There's a light that is, in this world that can get you through it, and there's always a lesson to be learned, and there's always, just a positivity that you can literally have your foundation in and get you through whatever it is, big or small.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is, grow through what you go through. And I really think that is capable and possible for anyone if you choose to.
Right.
I think you have a choice. While we don't have control over everything, you do have a choice in your mindset. And I had a conversation with somebody yesterday where we discussed this very thing is, there's some crazy stuff going on right now in our country.
Mm-hmm.
We've just, we got a new president, we got a new VP. A lot of people are happy, some people are not happy at all, but we get to choose, number one, how we show up.
Yeah.
Number two, what our kids hear.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, if you're sharing on social media, you have the ability to make an impact on other people. So for me, I know that I want to show up as a light in their lives.
Right.
The world already has a lot of negativity and drama and naysayers and people who are trolls and mean.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I add to that?
Right. You're an example or you're an example.
Absolutely.
Good one or bad. Either way.
Yeah, and that also goes with your newsfeed, guys. Your newsfeed should be a source of happiness for you.
Yeah.
So if it's not, you have the ability to unfollow.
Mm-hmm.
You have the ability to set your phone down and
Mm-hmm.
walk away from it. You have the ability to unfriend people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a choice that you get to make. So if it's not serving you, own that
Mm-hmm.
and figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
And you get to make a choice on whether you see the glass half empty or the glass full, or be grateful that there's even a glass that's refillable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if you just sit in the negativity, it's going to swallow you up,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to cling on to something. So what is it that you're clinging on to in a hard season, in a hard situation? I know like the ebbs and flows of, marriage or parenthood, like, oh, I had a bad mom day today. Like, are you going to cling on to that guilt? Or are you going to be like, the Lord's mercies are new every morning. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'm going to do better. Like, Lord, help me do better. Not be perfect,
Yeah.
but let me see the good in myself so that I could be that reflection of you to the people around me. I know in a hard season in my marriage, I clung into the positive that we were going to make it through. If that's all I had was that we are going to make it through, then that's what I clung on to day in and day out through the muck and the nasty and all the hard everything. I clung to the positive that I'm going to make it through because here I am and I'm going to push.
Yeah. So what about the person that's listening to this podcast right now? Maybe you're in the muck. Maybe you don't know how to see out of that. We want to give you some just different tips and ideas of maybe how you can shift your lens and focus to seeing the positives in those things. And so one of the first things that I want to recommend for you is that if you're not keeping a gratitude journal,
Right.
or something of that sort, that you make a small investment into a notebook and create your own. There's
Dollar store.
come on, there's
Yeah.
thousands on Amazon too.
Yeah.
Support a local business, so I'm sure they're there as
Oh
well.
yeah, we're all here on Dollar Store Amazon.
We have a friend who makes them.
Yeah.
So like literally just waking up in the morning and listing 3 things minimum that you're grateful for can be a simple mindset shift in focusing on something positive instead of grabbing your phone and jumping right into your emails or responding to a work something or getting into your text messages or jumping on social media, where that can put you on that defensive state.
Right.
Take control, and we already discussed that in morning routines, but we're going to say it again, is get yourself gratitude. Tony Robbins says that you can't be anxious and grateful at the same time, right? You can't be angry and grateful at the same time. So if you start your day shifting it towards gratitude, it can be a massive momentum shifter in the entire day.
Yeah, and I think in my Give Me Jesus journal from a Watered Woman, it starts with today's gratitude. And it forces you to think of things that you're grateful for. So my, morning time is really early. So I think of things that I'm grateful for either in the middle of the night with a baby that wakes up every 2-3 hours to eat, or I think of things from the day prior. So I'm literally sitting there thinking of things like, oh my, what happened yesterday that I was grateful for. It's little things like I said a joke and my daughter laughed. She didn't eye roll at me, or her laugh made, the baby smile, or my coffee is steaming hot right now and I freaking love it. Like little things to be grateful for instead of like, I'm so tired and I, all that stuff.
And that can shift also going back to, you were talking about marriage, my husband and I have also, you know, we walked through some dark times, and thank you, Jesus, we are never, not even close to that now. But in those moments of being agitated sometimes, I will shift it to saying, what am I grateful for him right now? And it'll pull me out of that negativity and stress or agitation. Same thing with my kids. Guys, I've been home with my kids since March, like many of you as well. And I don't know about you, but I appreciate that quiet time where I'm alone. Love my children, but I also like that. And so that doesn't happen very often anymore. So instead of focusing on the house being so messy, or them, you know, just blowing through all the snacks when I just went to Costco, I challenge myself to shift and say, I'll never have this time back with them. One day they're not going to be in my home eating through my food, and it's going to be going to waste or getting stale until hopefully they come and visit, you know? And so really just shifting your mindset to that gratitude state.
To the positive. And there's always something to learn and always something to reflect on. And I was a person that never liked to reflect. I remember, like, pre-Jesus, my husband loved motivational like speakers and videos and YouTube, and it literally made me cringe. It made my blood boil that he was like trying to better himself. Like literally, this was me, what, like 10 years ago. Like I maybe less than that. I hated it. And now going through that, and then like meeting Jesus and going through that, you know, spiritual transformation, I live for reflection. I live for positive mindset, positive change, perspective. And that perspective shift is major, that you have to train your mind to do constantly, every day. It's an everyday practice that you have to do. Like we talked about sobriety last week. Same thing, staying sober. It's a practice.
The same thing with exercise. Like if you want to transform your body, you have to change your habits. You have to show up, you have to do the work, you have to shift your nutrition, right? So anything that you want to improve is going to take effort. And so you could be listening to saying this and saying, well, I want to change, but I don't have anyone positive around me. One of the things that I love is that you can shift the energy of the atmosphere with yours. You don't have to adapt to it. If somebody in your house or in your friend circle or at your workplace is constantly complaining and constantly negative and constantly just, you know, their cup is dry and they just want to like point out all the awful things, you can shift the atmosphere by starting complimenting them, by
Karen, I like your sweater.
Doing nice gestures, by just being that shifter. So we're going to keep this one a little bit shorter today, since we were so long last week, but we just want you to realize and recognize that you have a choice in how you show up every single day, and you have a choice in how you react and respond to negative energy and positive, and that you can influence change by just little simple shifts. Putting on a podcast that's motivational speaker, picking up a personal development book and spending 10 minutes in it at night, doing a gratitude journal first thing in the morning, starting meditating, figuring out how to pray, getting yourself a devotional, going and buying a Bible and actually reading the truth that's in it instead of assuming that you're not a religious person.
And I think just like the act of unfollowing people, you also have the choice to follow positive people. So social media is a black hole, but there's also a lot of good in it, and you can follow people that you aspire to be like, or that are 2 steps ahead of you in their walk, and you can follow along, and they share positivity. I know for me, like, I don't share a lot of like negative stuff on my Instagram. Thank God right now I don't have any, but I also do that on purpose because I want to be a positive light. So if you follow someone that is sharing positive things, like, it's gonna bring you up. If you're following CNN and CBS and it's gonna bring you down. So you have a choice to unfollow and you have a choice to follow.
Go where you are envious. If you see something in someone else that you want to do, newsflash, sister or brother, you can do that, and you can make it your own. So don't let the negative voices, because we all have them,
Mm-hmm.
we're not immune to them,
Mm-hmm.
tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
And you are in control, and you get to choose how you change this day. This might be one of those episodes that you need to go back and listen to, because guys, let me be 100% transparent. I was not always a positive person. It was easy for me to play the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Crappy childhood, made crappy choices as a teenager, got myself in some trouble, dropped out of high school. Like, I could go on and on and on about all the negative things, and I did for a very long time, and that's kept me stuck and basically sick in my circumstances until I got tired of my crap.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a conscious choice every single day to start shifting my habits.
I think that's one of the major things too. I remember writing a letter to someone that was going through a hard time, and I was just kind of explaining to them, they were young youth, and like my circumstances and how to not play the victim. I think this might sound like tough love, but I think people may need to hear this. Everyone has something that they're going through. Everyone has had things happen to them in their life that were out of their control. Everyone's been through muck and mire. People have lost people that they love. There's addiction, there's abuse, there's just a bunch of just bad things that happen to all of us. So if you are just isolating yourself and keeping yourself alone in that and thinking that it's only happening to you, that's a lie from the enemy. And not today, Satan, because I know that there's other people out there that have gone through the same things or worse than myself, and they've made it through. And that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to ask, knock, and seek, and you will find it if you want to find it.
Yeah.
So that's that perspective shift of not being the victim and being like, that's not the road that I'm going on, and there's always another way. There's always another way.
And we don't think that this is you, because you probably wouldn't be listening to this podcast anyways, but if you are or were or know someone who's always like, oh my gosh, there's so positive, it's annoying, promise you that has nothing to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
Do some deep seeking internally and start to make some transformations within, because if you're annoyed at what someone else is doing that's good, that has nothing to do with them.
Right.
So,
yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. But before we do, Steph, we ask this every episode. What does being brave mean to you?
I think being brave is reflection. Like I said earlier, I hated self-reflecting because of the pain and the darkness that was inside of me. And I didn't want to either talk about it. I didn't want to heal it. I didn't want to deal with it, honestly. But being brave is, even before you go to someone else for help or support or accountability, is having that conversation with yourself, having that conversation with God, and being like, there's stuff in me that I don't want, and I need help releasing it. And that takes a lot of humility, and that takes a lot of courage to do that. And prayer is powerful, you guys, and it doesn't matter if you're a perfect prayer. I think Melissa's an amazing prayer, and I'm over here like like just stuttering. Like, so it doesn't matter how you pray, it doesn't matter how you talk to God, but open up that line of communication, no matter how messy it may feel, and ask, knock, and seek, and you will find the positive, you'll find that light, and you will find the help that you need.
Awesome. So brave to me in this topic is being moldable. Transforming from the inside, and knowing that just because it is a certain way right now doesn't mean it always has to be. And with a simple shift of your mindset, a simple prayer, a simple surrender, things can start to transform within you, because you don't have control over anyone else, but you do have control of how you show up and how you give light and how you speak out into other people. So that
it's kind of like that basketball analogy. Like, it's not how hard you play, it's, what is it? It's like 99% attitude, 1% talent.
Yeah.
That's how life is.
Yeah.
It's not about how you play the game. It's your attitude towards the game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a good attitude, you guys.
Yeah, you guys. let's be the light today and every day.
Yeah.
In other people's lives, even when it's really, really hard to be kind. Sometimes it's okay just to bite your tongue, and you don't have to always argue your choice, your viewpoint, or make your point. I know it feels good sometimes, but that's our flesh.
Yeah.
So, We just love doing this with you guys. We love connecting with you. Don't know where you're tuning in from, but please shout this out. Give a screenshot. Let us know what stood out to you. Tag us on Instagram. We want to be able to share that with our followers as well. And if there's anything that you have questions on, or tools that maybe you're using to be able to shift your mindset into seeing things more positively, we'd love to hear that from you as well.
And if you have a topic that you guys want us to discuss, let us know too. Shoot us a DM. Everything is in the show notes. You can email us, text us,
and we always want to know how you feel brave in this topic.
Yep. So let us know, what does brave mean to you today?
All right, guys. Have a great day.